I don't want to be here, for the record. Greetings, everybody! FailureToReport here. So we just got back from dinner for Heather's parents, or her dad's birthday. And needless to say, many a drink was had, especially because the place is just down the street from our new house. And they serve very strong alcohol compared to literally every other restaurant I've ever been to. Like, this is the one place that I'm like, you know what? I feel like I'm getting my money's worth out of a drink here. So I'm already pretty well on my way. I've got a fresh glass of Jack Daniels here. Let's do it! All right, so Star Citizen 3.7. This is the PTU. There's some new stuff. Not a whole lot. I think in general, 3.7 is going to end up kind of looking more as like a filler patch. They did add caves, which in my opinion is more of like we need to find something to kind of keep people busy, if that makes sense. Like, oh man, we pushed all the mechanics out of 3.7 and 3.8 and 3.9. Let's come up with something to keep backers on their toes and while it's open. And that's kind of what FPS mining is, in my opinion. The Mantis, I don't really give a shit about. I think it's really stupid. I don't know how much it's actually going to go for yet, but I don't intend on grabbing one to like review it. The Vanguard Harbinger and the Vanguard Sentinel are in game, but there's some big fat womp disclaimers to come with that. We'll cover that in a little bit once we actually get in game. And one of the other new features is a revamp yet again of the character creation shit. Now you can kind of pop through some fucking pre-mades and do some other crap. Nobody cares. I mean, I don't care. Begin blending. I just think this whole system is just incredibly convoluted and unnecessary, personally. I'm sure there are people out there who actually care about this crap, but I'm not one of them. Like, I don't see a problem with just having normal sliders, I guess, right? And especially considering, like, how often are you going to see your character to where, like, you're going to care? So, like, I really don't give a shit. Like, 99% of the gameplay in Star Citizen is with a helmet on, right? So, like, I don't know. Why do I care what my character, like, his face blending shit? You could have just made a bunch of presets and just let people pick from those, and it would have been fine. Pre-alpha, it's early days, for sure. All right. Let the cancer begin. Please do let me know if game sound needs to get turned up a little bit more. It's been a while since I've streamed Star Citizen, so some of the volume settings might be a little out of whack for the actual stream. Good times. Oh, Hab. Never go changing, buddy. Hey, Beware of Dawn, how's it going, man? Yep, everything's good. I've had enough alcohol to drink tonight to justify caving to peer pressure to stream 3.7. So here we are. Stop. It's too early in the stream for that. Stop, Star Citizen. All right. Oh, no RSI Mantis still? Boo. Boo, Wendy! Boo! All right. Hey, Avalon, how's it going? All right, let's pull the Harbinger first, because that's the one I want to talk about first, and then we'll get to that to other stuff as we kind of go through it. I think we have to go to ArcCorp to get the mining laser. B10.
But failure!
Shit, was it 10 or 0? It was 10, right? Yeah, it's 10. Okay. There's no way it's going to cost 700. That would be so absurd. I think it's going to be in the 300 range. That's my best guess. I don't have anything to base that on, but that's my guess. All right, let's talk about the fucking Harbinger really quick. So Vanguard pilots have been waiting a long fucking time for these two variants, right? Because, like, granted, the Warden was cool and all that, but I think the majority of Vanguard backers were backing the Sentinel and the Harbinger. So right off the bat, the fucking Harbinger was supposed to have like an up armored cockpit and all this other shit, and instead we just get, oh, here's a different version of olive green for your fucking Harbinger. Yeah, we're delivering on the fucking concept. And the rocket pods are just standard rocket pods because CIG was like, oh shit, we can't figure out how to make fucking auto feeding rocket pods, so here's just rocket pods. Yeah, we'll totally fucking make your turret live up to what we sold you eventually. Don't worry. Thanks for the money, though. Then, best of all, hey, this gun looks really fucking familiar. Isn't that a combined ballistic cannon and not a totally brand new fucking Vanguard Harbinger specific railgun? Gee, I think it is. Wait, doesn't the combined ballistic cannon not fucking work in the fucking PTU? Huh, weird. This fucking gun has been broken since like 2016, 2017, like fucking forever. Because the hit registration is completely fucked on this fucking gun. But hey, good thing we didn't need a fucking new railgun that we were sold with the fucking concept, right? Thanks, CIG, real bro of you. We'll get into the Sentinel later too, because that one's got some juicy LOL to go with it as well. But hey, at least they finally got it in fucking game, right? That's something. This door shit is really fucking AIDS. Like, I don't know what fucking moron was like, hey, let's put the interaction point for the fucking ramp right next to the fucking actual door. So you're like literally like, oh fuck, which one am I clicking? Like, why would you not have it be over here? That makes so much more sense. God damn, it's like a bunch of fucking morons are fucking running this game. Hey, Archer, how's it going, man? God bless Saint Jack Daniels. Gonna get me through this shit. All right. So let's travel to ArcCorp, and we'll pick up a mining thingy. Hold on. Let me double check that ArcCorp has one, actually. I don't want to waste even more time on this long fucking journey. PTU discussion! Where's 3.7 notes? I think ArcCorp has one. So does, I want to say Lorville and Hurston. I really want to go to Hurston now. Alright. Let's see. Mining. Oh, not in that patch note. Let's try this one. Give me 2 sec, guys. I can't see chat, but I'll be back. Not in that one. Alright, I'm just going to go with it's available in one of them. This is a hotfix one that fixes almost nothing. Actually, let's go to Lorville. Because it's either Area 18, Lorville, or Levski, and ArcCorp's going to be a little further out. So let's do that. Alright. Whoa, hey there, buddy. Oh, one of the other things that they did change that I am actually, like, proud of them for doing is they got rid of the fucking hover mode shit. There is a hover mode, and it's a manual toggle now. They also have something called proximity to assist, which right now doesn't really do anything. That's supposed to be implemented like in its proper entirety later on. So for now, they gutted the really shit hover mode crap, and hopefully it stays that way. Kevin, I did see the new sunk cost. For me personally, there wasn't really a whole lot new in there. Booch is kind of like in the same circles that I get a lot of information from. So there really isn't a whole lot of new stuff on there. However, the stuff about Ben, like being basically like the mastermind of marketing, whereas Sandy's just taking credit for it, I never really thought of it that way before, and it kind of makes sense, right? Like Ben basically, like if Chris Roberts pulled his dick out, Ben would suck it in a heartbeat. Like that's how fucking committed Ben is to anything Chris Roberts. So it kind of makes sense that like Ben is the viral social marketing of Star Citizen. That was a really great point by Bucha. I never really thought about it that way. Travel in this particular ship should be about 6 minutes, I think. Usually longer if you're in like a less shitty ship. Right, keep in mind that while I say it's like 6 minutes or so, this is a $285 ship. So, you know, if you want to spend that much money to go places in the verse, then by all means, go for it, man. I won't stop you. Yeah, I think the Ben Lesnick stuff was the most interesting. And on top of that, like not only his marketing stuff, I really wish that Bucha had like included a thing about Ben Lesnick and his fucking child porn fucking fetish shit that he was posting on his website. Definitely Google that shit. Or better yet, I'm sure a goon can link it in chat at some point. That shit is super fucked up and probably the real reason that Ben was sent to the farm. Or working remotely, or whatever other excuse CIG wants to use for Ben basically being absent in the company now. His website that he was running is super fucking creepy weird. He has like a stalker obsession with a local news anchor. Tons and tons of posts about like underage girl shit, like really creepy shit. All sorts of stuff like that. Usama, I'm glad you're enjoying World of Warships, man. I really like that game. I get into like a naval fix every now and then to where like I have to binge watch Tora, Midway, not Pearl Harbor because that's fucking terrible. Stuff like that, right? And then I also, like when I'm watching those kind of movies, I want to play games related to them. And honestly, World of Warships is the best one when it comes to naval warfare. World War II naval warfare, at least. I would love if War Thunder kind of like pulled their head out of their asses and started making like more ships than just destroyers and light cruisers. Hopefully they get to a point where they do that, because I think War Thunder is better than World of anything, right? Like War Thunder does the planes way better. They did the tanks way fucking better. But unfortunately they're lagging really far behind in terms of naval combat stuff. So I really hope that that gets improved eventually, because I would much rather play War Thunder than playing World of Warships. But unfortunately, in that one arena of World War II, Wargaming is spanking the shit out of Gaijin, whatever. Gaijin. So yeah. No, you're absolutely right, Inukami. Originally, it was just torpedo boats, and everybody was like, oh, this is stupid, and Gaijin was like, no, guys, it's going to be great. You're all going to love it. And then they've slowly started progressing upwards. They should have just gone from the get-go, like battleships and down. I think it would have taken a lot of steam out of World of Warships had War Thunder done that. Instead, now they're like trying to build their shit up, but the problem is they don't have the player base to really like be like, hey, our naval game is really good. Because everybody's like, okay, well, I didn't want to play PT boats, so I went over to World of Warships. So now Gaijin has to try to lure those people back into trying War Thunder naval action or whatever the fuck they call it. 3.7 being good or not. So if you enjoy 3.6, you'll probably enjoy 3.7. If you did not enjoy 3.6, then you're probably not going to give a shit about 3.7 because it's mostly filler content and some flight model fixes, right? Like they got rid of hover mode, which was a really good call. Right, it was a universally not liked feature. Like there were a couple people who like were throbbing their dicks over hover mode in 3.6, but for the most part, nobody liked hover mode. It was very, very limited, the amount of people who actually liked hover mode, and there was no like good basis for it. Right, a lot of people were like, "Oh, the only people who didn't like hover mode were people who weren't good at it." All right, listen up. So I was playing 3.6 PTU all the way through basically like the 3.6 that's up now, right? When they first introduced hover mode, people who only played 3.6 like live and not in the PTU. If you thought hover mode was bad in live, it was so much worse in the PTU. So much fucking worse. It was incredibly janky. It took over like at the worst points in flight. The auto leveling was really fucking terrible. It was just very bad, right? Compared to what was in live. I never once crashed a ship because of hover mode. And I flew everything from like the fighters. I think I was flying a lot of 300s during 3.6's PTU. The Valkyrie, I flew that in hover mode. The Starfarer, flew that in hover mode. And I never once crashed, right? So to the people who are like, oh man, only people who were bad at it fucking didn't like hover mode. That's not true at all. Like, I never, ever have a problem with flying in this game. It bothers me so much when people are like, oh, this is a simulation. People got to stop sucking and practice and learn to fly. Dude, it's not that hard to fucking fly. Like, it doesn't take any effort in Star Citizen. This isn't DCS, where you have to actually learn, like, ship systems and how to fucking, like, toggle everything, what procedures you need to go in, like your startup and shutdown, fucking making sure you're using the de-icing at the right times and blah, like that. Dude, it's a fucking arcade space flight game. Chill your fucking dick, buddy. It's not that fucking hardcore. So yeah, I'm glad that they got rid of hover mode. It's going to be reiterated, right? Like, it's not just completely gone. It is going to come back eventually. But for now, they've rolled it back to where ships basically handle the same. There is a proximity assist, but it can be turned on and off. Hover mode right now in its current 3.7 iteration is a manual toggle, which, thank God, that's what everybody wanted, right? Like a manual toggle that you can keybind to switch the VTOL functions on ships that have VTOL. So basically, CIG did the smart thing. They rolled back what they fucking cancered up the game with, and they're kind of going back to the drawing board with it. Yeah, I know a lot of fanboys want to say that, like, Star Citizen's a simulator. It's not a simulator. Any Star Citizen fan who calls Star Citizen a simulator, I don't think they've ever played a simulator ever in their lives if they think that this is a simulator, because it's not. It's arcade as fuck. And it should embrace that, because they're going to need to, like, cater to the lowest denominator, right? Because otherwise they're never going to be able to be a successful video game. That actually really bothers me a lot too, Pazuzu, because, like, whenever you tag, like, on Twitch what game you're playing and you select Star Citizen, it auto tags it as simulator, and I'm like, that's not appropriate. That's not appropriate at all. All right, let's go to Lorville. Where are you? You fucking dumpski capital of Poopville. I see they put a lot of time into fixing the UI so that it's clearly legible against the background of all of their shit. There we go. Salvaging was probably at some point meant to be in 3.7 Wiser. I honestly don't know anymore. They've pushed salvaging, they've pushed refueling, they've pushed repairing multiple times. Many times. So I honestly don't even remember where they are all supposed to be at anymore. I would have to, like, literally go back and look at old graphics to know. Because it's just, at this point, it's just such a jumbo clusterfuck that, like, for me, drunk, I'm like, okay, I know that it was due by now. We should have had both salvaging and repairing by now. But they've been pushed multiple times, so who fucking knows? Chris, the majority of the reason that I still play it is because people asked me to. And I caved to peer pressure because I'm a weak little bitch. No, but seriously, I would love to see this game do good, right? I have very little faith that it's ever going to. But a lot of backers actually asked me to keep reviewing it because I talk shit and the channel gets the exposure to circulate that shit, and it forces there to be a critical opinion of things that CIG can't censor, basically. So that's the biggest reason for why I still do it. Despite what it might seem like to fanboys, right? Like, it's not all about me wanting this game to fail. That's not why I keep streaming it and doing reviews on it and all that shit. That is actually, like, nothing could be further from the truth. I would love for Star Citizen to do amazing things, right? Because it means we get a new space game that's good. That's all. I'm all about it. Like, I don't care if Chris Roberts gets rich in the process. Like, I mean, I think they're kind of like scummy company and a really bad management system. But if it means I get a good space game, I don't really give a shit if like he's a crappy person or not. As long as he makes a good space game, then fuck it, whatever. I'm gonna play the fucking game if it's good. So, I mean, that's what I ideally would like to see happen with it, and it's one of the reasons that I talk about Star Citizen and criticize it so much, is because they're never going to change things if the rest of their active community basically accepts anything that they do. And that's kind of where they are. Like, a lot of the active community is just like, oh, man, Chris could shit on Sandy's fucking tits, and I would clap. Because, it's genius. He's a prophet of gaming. I see this still works great. Yep. Okay, cool. And if you look at pretty much any Star Citizen marketing materials, right? Like their trailers and shit, they're all very, very kind of misleading of like where the game actually is and like where it's realistically going to be in any kind of near-term future, right? Boop. God, the fucking camera shake. Is this like his new thing? Fuck me in the ass. This is really annoying. Chris, hey buddy, I know you're fucking pro Hollywood and all that, but the camera shake is kind of AIDS, bud.
Landing complete.
You could dial that down like a good bit. I know a lot of people did pay for Squadron 42 and are only concerned with the single player experience, but at the same time, I think the vast majority of people are more interested in the MMO experience. But me personally, I don't really see a point in like differentiating between the two of them, because right now they both suffer kind of from the same kind of problems. So right now I look at arguing any issues in the PU are also kind of falling over into the single player aspect as well. Because a lot of the issues that aren't fun and are going to be problematic for Star Citizen, the PU, are also issues that affect Squadron 42. Like the fluidity of FPS controls and combat, right? If you go back to like old school Arma 2, that's kind of what it feels like to move around in Star Citizen. It feels very clunky and like not fluid. Right? Like you can compare, let's say something recent that I've been playing, Destiny 2. Compare the way you move in Destiny 2 to the way you move in Star Citizen. It's very, very, like, awkward. Even Arma 3, you know, that was one of the things that they realized, like, man, we really need to work on improving this from Arma 2 to Arma 3, was the way you move and the fluidity of everything. It's still not great. Unfortunately, I think that engine has problems similar to what CIG is dealing with in terms of movement in this one. But it was a major focus in trying to improve that in Arma 3. Bohemia Interactive was working on Arma 3. And I think that's one of the big problems with Squadron 42 is they're trying to push this single player but also flying experience and all this other stuff, right? And it didn't do super great with Call of Duty, Infinite Warfare, I think it was. So, like, if a major title out of a major publisher flopped because it's sci-fi mixing space and flight combat and all this other stuff, and people just generally don't like it, where is Chris going to come in and suddenly fucking, like, just slam dunk that shit? He's not going to. Because, like, his product is, like, just factually at lower quality than Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. I think it was good, right? I'm not saying it's not good, Philippe. My thing is, outside of, like, a certain genre of gamers, most people aren't going to engage in that because a lot of people get turned off by sci-fi. So, like, suddenly you have Chris Roberts and his really clusterfucky storytelling and his everything's an alpha. You can't judge us. Don't judge us. Don't say mean things about us. It's alpha. his fucking mentality of like hiding responsibility behind like labels for his work. Like I think Squadron 42 is not going to do great. But and I've like things that I've heard from people who are actually working on it, I think that Squadron 42 is not going to do great. We'll see. That's where I'm standing on it. I think if you're really, really looking forward to Squadron 42, you want to temper your expectations really, really badly. Can I? Fucking fuck me, Chris. Jesus. I'd love to be proven wrong. Absolutely, Avalon. I think most of us who criticize the game want to be proven wrong. Obviously, there are people who criticize the game and just want the game to die, right? Like, I'm not saying that there aren't. There's fanatics on both sides of the fence, but I think the majority of critics want the game to do good, and that's why they criticize it. I love Sci-Fi Beware, but I've been a nerd my whole life, right? Like, even when I was super young, right? Like, I would stay up and watch the Sci-Fi Channel and shit like that. Where am I fucking going? This is Lorville, not ArtCorp. So yeah, like my opinion on sci-fi is that like sci-fi is an awesome genre. I'd love for more content to be put into sci-fi, but most gamers aren't 100% there, right? And I think that's like that was a huge problem that Infinite Warfare saw, because the majority of like popular gaming, they don't want to play stuff that they can't relate to, and sci-fi is really hard for some people to relate to. Whereas like, oh yeah, World War II and smashing Nazis, yeah, I can relate to that. Give me some more of that shit. That's the problem that like games have when they try to go mainstream as sci-fi. I think like the Halos and the Destinies, those are like the exceptions and not the rule. And they're one in a million, right? And the thing is, stuff like Halo, Destiny, Mass Effect, right? Those are games that are executed so well. Like story, it's there. The gameplay is there. There's something new and like revolutionary about it, right? Like when Halo came out, Mass Effect came out, like Mass Effect 1, Destiny 1 came out, all of them were doing something that was like never before seen. And the quality of it was basically there. I mean, there were bugs, obviously, but like the quality of the gameplay was really, really good. So like, I think that's a big like selling point for those genres to get started. And once they get started and word of mouth travels like, oh, this is a really fucking good game, then yeah, you know, they build enough player base to kind of carry on to like additional titles and whatnot. But I don't think Squadron 42 is going to do that. Yeah, absolutely, Avalon, right? Like, and that's the thing when you think about like a single player experience and what it needs to feel like. You can compare Destiny to something like, you know, Star Citizen, and it's night and day. Like, what the fuck is this? Really? Am I just face fucking the other elevator, huh? Nice. Controls in this game are just like, it's not even the controls. It's just the way you move and stuff. It doesn't feel fluid. It feels very tedious. You can sprint for like 10 fucking seconds before your character literally has a heart attack and dies. It's just bad. And Squadron 42 isn't going to be that much different than this, you know? Big guy, it's not exactly a 20-minute journey, but it's still long enough to be tedious, yes. Absolutely.
Welcome to Metro Center. Transfers to the...
You motherfuckers better not be shooting at me. I literally just created this fucking character. Hey, Mr. V, how's it going, man?
If credits are tight, we even offer a credit advance for new qualified employees. See your local recruiter for details.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what's going on with BioWare anymore, WMD. Like, just everything that they've done